Hey everybody, what's up? It's your girl Different, and welcome to Different Ball. I hope you all are having a wonderful day today. For me, I'm having a wonderful day. For what it's worth, we're in the middle of Black History Month, and I'm excited today because I'm going to be sharing with you guys my podcast I did with a guy by the name of Walker, but his show is called The Walkshow. And I had a very good time talking with him about my new book, What If? A Controversial Paradigm Shift, as well as mental health awareness. And the thing I liked about most with this podcast host and just in general with this show is that this was a white guy, and he was absolutely, thrilled to have me on the show to talk about, the book and the way that I had set it up. And, it kind of shocked me to see that, this is it's just, not very many white people, if you will be willing to, want to talk about this book and be excited about it and actually, agree with what I'm saying. And so this is exactly why I wrote the book, to start that conversation about, injustice and systemic racism, and, to help push that envelope and get it started. And I had a really good time, with this gentleman, him having me on the show. Make sure you guys go and check him out. I'll definitely put his information in the link in the video, once you guys are checking out the audio in the view, excuse me, as well as in the bio below. So check him out. Let's get into it with the video. Again, we're going to be talking about, my book, What If? A Controversial Paradigm Shift, as well as bringing, talking about mental health awareness and, and as well as being self-aware and social awareness. And so enjoy it. Check it out. And once you get done, don't forget to share, comment, and subscribe. And then I'll come back on and let you guys know what's going on in Different World. So here it is. Check it out.
That was from my conversation exploring the walk of life with a delightful lady from Houston, Texas, who is known in the public space as Different. Different has one of the most inspiring stories I've heard. Just as she became an adolescent, she found herself facing homelessness and living in the foster system. Determined to save herself, Different made the most of her circumstance and earned a master's degree, became the founder of Third Eye Entertainment, and has published the book What If? A Controversial Paradigm Shift, which seeks to challenge readers' comfort zones in order to help them see a different perspective. Different is strong and brave, but she is also warm and kind, and I just love the opportunity to chat with her. As always, thank you to Misha Zarins for the music in today's show. Welcome to the Walkshow podcast. Different, how you doing this evening?
Very well, Walk. How about yourself? Thank you for having me.
I'm good, thank you. Well, thank you so much for joining. Really excited to have you here, Different. You have really a fascinating personal story, that you had a really challenging childhood that you have since overcame to go on to achieve great things in education. You've got a master's degree, a bachelor's degree, I guess obviously as a prerequisite for the master's. You're a real estate agent. You're an entrepreneur, and now you've got a new book coming out, and that book is What If? A Controversial Paradigm Shift, and your company is Third Eye Entertainment. I got to be honest, I was looking over your stuff, and there's a lot of directions I want to go, and I know we want to talk about the book, and we've got somewhat limited time, so we'll be sure to get to that quickly. Mm-hmm. But I have to say, really the very first thing that jumped out to me is your company name of Third Eye Entertainment. That's a concept, an idea that I really like, but I'm a huge fan of the band Tool. I don't know if you're familiar with them or not, but they have a song called Third Eye, in fact. But how did you arrive at that name for your company, and what does Third Eye mean to Different?
So for me, Third Eye comes from, I guess, being spiritually in tune. I have to take it back to, it's backwards the way it started. So the way that the book came about is when I got my mental health in check. And the reason why I got my mental health in check, as you stated before, my upbringing was pretty tough. Around the age of 11, I ended up homeless with my family, and around 14, ended up in foster care and secretly placed there by a relative. And for the first 6 months, I tried my hardest to come home. However, I found out that the state of Texas, which is where I'm from Houston, they would pay for your tuition if you aged out of care. And so right then and there, I decided to stay in CPS. And once I aged out, I went through what I went through at San Luis State University, got my degree. But however, with all those notches and accomplishments under my belt, and even traveling all over the world, I was still, a broken person on the inside. And it wasn't until, there was an issue that I came about and I had to face the ugly truth that I needed to go and fix my inner issues. Whatever I went through as a child, it wasn't my fault. It was out of my control, but somehow, some way, as an adult, it's on me to deal with. And that's what everybody needs to understand, when it comes to facing the ugly truth within ourselves. Whatever we went through, what we're going through, it may or may not be our fault. It may or may not be in our control, but it's on us to deal with it. So for me, I said, bump that. I'm going to go fix my issues and go get help, and dismiss that notion that, Black people don't do therapy. And so, in talking about my issues and working with my therapist and being serious about it, and and him talking with me and helping me turn a negative into a positive, he encouraged me to get back into one of my hobbies, which was writing. And so, writing one day, being stuck in the house for the pandemic, and boom, May 25th, 2020 happens, the day George Floyd died. So there, him being for Third Ward, the neighborhood that's right next to my Fifth Ward, he's from Third Ward, Houston, Texas. And I wanted to get involved and have my voice being heard during the protest and even go to his funeral. I even wanted my nephew to, be involved as well. However, when it came down to it, I couldn't. I wanted my voice to be heard within that longer than just in that moment of time, Walker. I wanted it to be, heard even after I'm gone. So being spiritually in tune, going home and talking with God and asking Him, praying, what is it that I can do to, have my voice heard and leave my mark here in the world, and something that's going to, impact the world and make them think. It's not going to be just a one-hit wonder. It's something that's going to be here, long after I'm gone. And so this is what He would show me, send me little premonitions here and there, through dreams, talking with people, watching movies, and then one day I'm just doodling, what if this, what if George Floyd was a white man, the police officer was a Black man, and so day by day, little by little, and by the time, December 2020 came around, I was finished with the written part of the manuscript, and I showed it to my attorney, and she read over it, and, she praised it and said it was going to do pretty well, and asked me the question, what's the name of your company? And I'm like, huh? What? And, that's just one thing about life, Walker. When you think you know something, it comes through and whew, reminds you, you don't know shit. It knocks you off your high horse. And so that's why, it's always good to keep learning, keep growing, and just keep living. Don't think you're too, wherever you accomplish, even if you got a, PhD, you can still learn and apply, And so with that, I had to hit the ground running and learning the ins and outs of, a small business. I plan on having my business real estate. And so I had to learn all the ins and outs of a small business, how to run it in Texas. And by March 2020 first came about, Third Eye Entertainment was born. And the name came through, again, being spiritually in tune with my third eye and talking, being, having my heart and my mind right and intertwined with it. Once you do that, you're able to see what's real and what's for you. Once you do that, anything is possible. And so with Third Eye Entertainment, my business is a business that strives to bring social awareness to society through our products and services, in which it educates, inspires, and entertains all at once. We do motivational speaking. I have a travel blog as well as a YouTube channel that details for the entertainment side. I'm also an avid traveler. I've been to just about 50 countries just before the pandemic. That knocked me off my little my fly horse, if you will. That was before the pandemic happened, and that's actually what fed into my depression, not being able to travel, get out and about. So I had to do something about that, and that's what also turned it into the writing of the project as well. But with that being said, we also have other products. And the first product that we have to offer to the public is my book, What If? A Controversial Paradigm Shift. Before I go any further, I must state that this book does come with a disclaimer. It is intended for a mature audience only. So if you can't take this type of heat, then don't bring your ass to this kitchen. No. What If? A Controversial Paradigm Shift was written to inform and encourage thought-provoking and constant conversations about systemic racism and injustice in America. And it's done through graphic but provocative illustrations and it details on controversial deaths and events, the historical events, that have occurred in our time. and within the African American community. The way that I set it up, Walk, is within four main paradigm shifts. We have historical, political, precedent, and hypothetical. Try saying that all 4 times. So, for instance, in historical paradigm, there's a sub-paradigm where I ask the question, what if in 1619 Africans started dealing in illegal slave trading, whereas they kidnapped millions of English men, women, and children, brought them on slave ships to America? And so, and then you have the illustrations, and you'll see, the white slaves in shackles and chains and being beaten, with the whips by the black slaves, such as, what happened with black in America, which is a true thing that happened. Reason why I'm doing this is, again, not only to, stimulate, thought-provoking conversations. The reason why I've chosen the controversial route for some of those who ask is, for one, people love controversy. I've noticed that. Anything that's controversy, they run to it. So controversy is an attention grabber, if you will. So if controversy is a tool that I have to use to get people's attention, to make them think, then so be it. Second of all, the way that I have set this book up is that the questions don't get you, then the illustrations will. And of course, we want people to share their opinions about this. So of course, this book is going to rub some people the wrong way. Now, again, I must state that it's intended for a mature audience only. This book was written to, again, encourage and stimulate thought-provoking conversations. It is not used or meant to be used or in any such way, manner, or form to be seen as some type of tool or propaganda to be, to encourage, the black community to uprise against the white folks or put any type of animosity or anything. It's not meant for that. It's simply meant to make those, who like to turn a blind eye to these type of issues and push it under the rug. Those who love to say, oh, racism doesn't exist, well, I don't see it. Or if it's alive, it's because you guys keep talking about it. So for those people out there who refuse to see it and don't want to see it, how about this? How about we take the roles and we reverse it? How about we flip the script, put the mirror to your face, and show you how it feels and what we feel, what we've been going through, what we're still going through. And if it's not okay to, see an illustration of a white person being lynched in the tree, then why is it okay or justified when these type of issues occur in the black community? That is how you can know racism is still alive and kicking. With that being said, although these illustrations are set up in a gritty and grimy manner, the main gist of it, if people who are mature enough to make it through the first 3 paradigms, if they can make it to hypothetical paradigms, that is where I tie it all in. That's where I talk about the main points of the book, What If? It's to, spread the what if question about it. What if we came to the round table and talked about unity, compassion for one another? What if we took accountability and acknowledged that, these certain issues are still alive, well, and need to be worked on? And so if those who go out and buy the book, which is available, and they read it all the way through and they can make it to hypothetical, then you'll see the point that I'm trying to make about empathy and compassion for one another and for mankind. Because we're all going through something, be it our mental issues, physically, financially, relationship-wise, people, who anything. We're all struggling with something. And so why not, be kind to one another and show passion, empathy, and sympathy, for somebody that's walking past you instead of passing judgment based on how they look. So that's all in all, that's basically what this book is, saying, what if? It's just a simple question. And again, I'm well aware a lot of people are not going to like what I have to say, but so be it. One thing I've learned as in life is you go where you celebrate it, not where you tolerate it. No matter who you are, what you stand for, what you believe in, what you're out there promoting to the world, there's always going to be somebody out there to condone what you do. And those people who are condoning it, you stay with those people. Stick around. Don't worry about the ones that are down on you or hating on you. And so again, you go where you celebrate it and not where you tolerate it. And not to mention, with this book, I've done my homework. I've included references to support my arguments. Again, nothing in the book that I'm stating is non-fact. These are actual events and deaths that have occurred again in America within the African American community. And so I've included references to each one of my paradigms. So at the end of the book, if anybody wants to go and do their homework on their own, they have no a leeway to do so. As well as, again, the book does come with a disclaimer. I'll show you this. This is what it looks like. Not that you can't see it, but you can. So
right.
Except for rudimentary form, I keep the questions short to keep your attention. I keep the illustrations to keep you, entertained. Again, with the entertainment, we try to, educate, inspire, and motivate all at once. With our products and services. And so, with What If, it's not just meant to piss you off. It's meant to make you think. Although it will piss some people off, that's okay, because whether people are talking good or bad about it, the main point is to keep them talking.
Sure. Well, let me jump in here for a second, because there's definitely a lot to unpack in your explanation. No, not at all. No, there's a lot to cover, and that's all really good information. And honestly, I want to jump back to one of the first things that you brought up, and I think it's relevant though to the larger conversation that you're pursuing with your book. And that's when you were talking about with your own journey with mental health, and how you've accomplished a lot of things, and you get to a point where, despite those accomplishments, and despite that you've not overcame but moved past the situation of your childhood, right? You've moved past that into, again, finishing college and starting a business and these sorts of things. And the comment that you made that really resonated with me was, you said, when I was a child, the things that happened weren't my fault, but I still have to deal with them now. Mm-hmm. And that's a lesson. I've been on this journey of self-improvement, or trying to find myself or whatever, for a few years now. And that's something that jumped out at me a while back. And that is that there's a difference between blame and responsibility. And I think a lot of times when we have these conversations, those two words get used as if they're synonyms, and they're not. Because you're right, it's not your fault. You can't be blamed for what happened in your childhood.
It's not your control. It's not your fault. But as an adult, when you wake up in the morning, you that's stuck on your mind, or you go to sleep at night and it's eating away with you, that's on you to deal with. I had to face that. I don't mean to cut you off, but what was eating that way at me is the fact that that person that hurt me had moved on with their life. They wasn't worried about me. They moved on to their next victim, And here I am still dealing with the pain. So I had to accept the fact that don't expect any type of amends from that person. It's on me to mend my broken heart. Don't expect for somebody out there, even as an adult, not even dealing with your childhood, when you come through things as an adult, when you go through these relationships and people have done you wrong or dirty, don't expect for them to fix that situation. If they've already moved on to their next victim. And so it's on you to mend that broken heart. Be it you going to get, a professional help? Are you talking with a family or friend, or picking up a hobby? It's on you to take back your power and free yourself from that mental bondage. And and also let me tell you this, Walt. Know this. It's not your fault. It was out of your control, but somehow, some way, it's your problem. That's a true statement. But it's also very true that even if it is your fault, even if it was in your control, and if it's your problem, and you know that it's your problem and that you need to fix it, and you don't, then it is your fault, and it is your problem, and it's on you. It's a lot of people out there, and I was one of those for the longest, who knew I had a problem and needed to go fix it and didn't want to. And so it was on me, dealing with that stuff and that mental anguish, waking up and knowing that I needed to go and fix that issue, but I was just too stubborn to go. I was too complacent. I wasn't, used to moving on. I was scared to move on. And so I held on to that for the longest. But when I got tired of it, I let go. I said, F it. It's time. And once I did that, my whole life changed. And in a matter of speaking, right. For the better, as far as from the inside out, because I've been all over the world, and I've been to beautiful countries, and it's been times where I'm sitting in beautiful hotels, sleeping in soft pillow cushiony bed, and I'm bawling like a baby because I'm just not happy. So I'm here to tell you, money and materialistic things does not buy happiness. It's happiness within, waking up, knowing that you have peace of mind and clarity. You're able to look at yourself and smile at yourself in the mirror and tell yourself, I love you, you fine, sexy motherfucker, you. You know, you have to tell yourself that you get your confidence back, and you just love you no matter who loves you, who doesn't love you. Oh well, you love you. There's such it comes always like a tingling feeling. You know, well, I'm telling you, if you haven't felt that feeling yet, it's gonna come if you just manifest, plan, and prepare. That's our motto here at Third Eye Ent. Manifest, plan, prepare for what it is that you want in life, and it will come to you. One step when manifesting, you have to speak it into existence like no other. You have to believe it before you can receive it. Sometimes they say fake it till you make it. Do that shit. You know, get it out on paper. Start writing affirmations. Start saying it in your mind. Start just speaking it throughout the day. Secondly, when you plan for things, when you write things out on paper, plan for the good, the bad, the ugly. Have your backup plan, have your exit plan, have all those plans, plans to accept the unknown, and know that you can't prepare for the unknown, but you can accept that the unknown is going to come to you, and just know that feel whatever the unknown is, and know that it'll be okay. Once you have done the planning part, move on to the preparation. When I say prepare, that means prepare from within, inside, and out. So go fix your mental issues, go fix your financial issues, go get help physical wise, go cut those people off who mean you know well in your life, go mend those broken bridges, go do all of that. So whatever it is that you manifested, whenever it comes to you, you can be prepared for it when it comes, so you know how to handle it. You won't squander it, or you won't know how to handle that blessing when it comes to you. So manifest, plan, and prepare for what it is that you want in life, and it will surely come to you. And that's just what it is at Third Eye Ent and in this world. So come and learn.
Yeah, that's awesome. Well, and that's, the thing is, what you were just describing, I agree with all of that. And the thing for me is that when I used to hear people talk about this sense of, or this idea of, it's your responsibility to solve your problems even if you didn't create them,
Mm-hmm.
I always took that or interpreted that to be like and I don't really know the right word, but like a moral or an ethical or a just thing, right? Like it's fair for you to own your stuff. I'm sorry?
It's an ugly truth thing. It's that ugly truth. It's the Pandora's box. It's the things that we don't want to accept but need to accept. You really can't put a name on it, honestly. It's just the ugly truth.
Well, yeah, well, and you're absolutely right, and that's what I was going to say, is that what came to me in the last couple of years is that it's not, I mean, certainly it could be fair or just or ethical or moral or whatever, but beyond that, it's just the way that it is. Like, it doesn't matter how much one person wants to save another. Like, at the end of the day, you have to save yourself, right? And that doesn't mean that you don't get help or seek therapy like you did in your case. I've also gone to therapists, have had psychologists on this show, huge promoter of mental health and seeking therapy.
We are too.
Yeah, and that's it. Well, thank you, and it should be promoted.
With races and talking about it, with Third Eye Entertainment, I'm sorry to cut you off, but with us, we talk about our issues. Like I said, we try to bring social awareness. So, i.e., we talk about issues that are often swept under the rug, for instance, injustice, systemic racism. But we definitely talk about mental health, as well as suicide prevention. We just did a segment last month. September was Suicide Prevention Awareness Month, so we just did a segment on that. And doing my research with that, I've learned that suicide stems from mental health issues. And so if we do mental health issues, then we can put a stop to suicide.
Yeah, well, and where I think that this point that we've made about your individual experience and your individual life actually translates directly over to this conversation that your book is again pursuing about systemic racism at large. And the reason I say that is because, so for example, I'm a white person. Am I personally responsible for slavery or something, right? Am I to blame for that? No, because I wasn't around. However, the ramifications and the outcomes of that, of slavery, and not just slavery, but Jim Crow and a variety of systemic racist things, unfortunately, that have existed in America, are still having effects today. And so even though it's not something that I chose to happen, because I'm a member of this current society, it is I am part of the responsible party for fixing it. Because again, to our conversation, it doesn't matter if it's your fault. If the problem is on your doorstep, it's your responsibility to fix it. And I think that that's a point that people get lost on a lot, especially, candidly, white people, because they will say things like, well, I wasn't, I didn't participate in those things. And it's like, yeah, that's not really the point. The point is we have some.
Thing they say now, the new thing that's out now is how can racism still be alive if you all have your own businesses now? You all are doing all well. You see all the
It doesn't make any sense.
And I'm like, dude, that's only a pitch of us. That's still not all of us. As well as racism is not based on well, I would say a part of our racial hardship that we face has affected our economic growth. That's very true. But
yes,
the defense of racism, you cannot equate that as far as our economic status now, as far as when you're walking down the street and somebody of a different, of a white person is walking down the street who doesn't know that person, but he or she, they look, a little dangerous. They got tattoos on them. And so here you are, you don't know them. You haven't said a word to them. But as soon as you walk past them, you're clutching on your purse or you're grabbing on your phone or you automatically making an assumption, oh, they're going to rob you, they're going to do something to you. That right there, it's racism without it being unbeknownst to you. Subconsciously, it's racism. It's something that's, I don't want to say it's what's been, embedded in those, because you're clearly not a racist person. So I don't want people out there that's white and listening to this and thinking that I'm labeling all white people as racist. No. What I'm saying is racism has been embedded in the white culture so bad to where it's just, when you come up, it can even be unknowns to you. People don't even have to say that it's racism. It's just the way that they've been brought up. You walking past somebody and you make it, or you see, so for instance, I'm not saying this happened to you, but just to give an example, you're a little boy and you were walking with your grandma one day, or you guys were in the grocery store and you guys were shopping, and another, family walked by and they just happened to be a black family. And your grandmother and you were walking by and your grandmother automatically, she clutches and throws you to her and holds you close while they walk past. You don't know what's going on, what happened, but you just know as soon as the black people passed, she grabbed you tightly and it was danger. And so she didn't have to say anything. She didn't tell you what was wrong, what was going on. Automatically, you saw that, a black person was walking past and there was danger. Your grandmother grabbed you to protect you. And so all the while you grow up and now you're an adult and now you're walking down the street and you see somebody of a different color and, they look dangerous. And here you are because of what you've been taught as a child, what your grandmother has shown to you. Not what she, unbeknownst told you, but what she showed you, unbeknownst teaching you that, when you see a black person who looks dangerous, you clutch yourself, you protect your belongings. And unbeknownst to you, in general, you don't know that's coming off as racist. But to you, it's just nature. It's just what you've been taught. It's second nature to you. It's not racist to you. It's just what you've been taught as a child. See what I mean?
Right.
So we try with Third Eye Entertainment with this book. We're trying to do in some of the specific events that we have picked for this book. We've taken the script and flipped it so that we can show you or help or attempt, if you will, to show you, what it is, how we are feeling in that situation and in that time. And if it upsets you, if it makes you mad, then that's the point. That's how we feel. Yeah.
Right. Yeah. No, I think it's really powerful. And I think it's really great that you've created this book and that you're asking these questions and challenging people to challenge their own ideas and to explore something that might be uncomfortable for the hope of a better outcome and a better future, which I think is really beautiful. Well, Different. I know that you have a limited amount of time tonight, so I don't mean to keep you all evening again. Your book is called What If? A Controversial Paradigm Shift. The website is differenceworld.net, and I will have links in the show notes to your website, to your social media accounts. Is there anywhere else or any other way that you would like to direct listeners to connect with you?
Yeah, you can go to I'm on Facebook, YouTube, Instagram, Twitter, but you can definitely go to my website, differenceworld.net. Again, my name is spelled Difernt. You go there, the book is available, you can get that. As well as I do, again, motivational speaking. So any of you out there listening would like to have me on your show or, just to have a grassroots conversations about any topic, you'd like to have. It doesn't have to be just about racism. We talk about it all here at Third Eye Ent. And so go to my website. You can book me. All of our social media taglines is there. Go to the Contact Us page. I want to take this moment in time to thank you, Walk, for having me on the Walkshow. I truly appreciate it. Texas Walker Ranger. Okay, there, I said it. I said I wasn't going to do it.
Well, you're from Texas, so you kind of have to, right?
Almost did I do it, but I said, you know what? YOLO. But
I love it.
Thank you so much for having me and being willing to have this conversation with me. This is exactly what I'm pushing for Black and White, and not just with Black and White. Again, let me just say again, with this book, it's not just about Black and White. I have something for everybody here. You know, even the LGBTQ community, Native Americans, Hispanics, Muslims, Asian. This is something for everybody in this book, and so I appreciate you, being willing to talk and have these conversations with me. I truly appreciate it. We need more people like you in this world. So stay awesome. Keep doing your thing. I truly appreciate it. Thank you to everybody out there listening, and much love and respect to anybody out there listening. Remember, whatever you went through in life, it may or may not have been your fault, but again, it's on you to get to fix it. And so, whatever you're going through that's in mental anguish, go fix that shit. And then you'll be able to manifest, plan, and prepare for whatever it is in life that you want, and it will surely come to you. Different 12, come and learn. Hey everybody, welcome back. I hope you guys enjoyed listening to my audio interview with the Walkshow podcast. Walker was a really good guy. As you guys seen, we had a very good time talking, about my life, his life, and, universal issues such as systemic racism and injustice. And I had a very good time talking with him about my new book, What If? A Controversial Paradigm Shift, which you guys don't forget. It's available on my website, differenceworld.net. Again, What If? A Controversial Paradigm Shift is a book that I've written to inform and encourage thought-provoking conversations about injustice and systemic racism in America. It's done through graphic and provocative illustrations, and it details controversial deaths and events that have occurred within the African American community. So again, please be advised that this book is for grown folks only. It's intended for a mature audience only, if you will. I try to tell people, if you can't take the seat, don't come to this type of kitchen. But again, like I said, for Black History Month, I felt it was very important to post this interview. A black and a white person talking about injustice and systemic racism that's still being faced today in 2022, and needing to have those conversations that need to be had. I thank him so much for being one of those who are willing to not turn the blind eye, and willing to have those conversations. We need more people like him. So big shout out to Walker. Be sure to check him out. His podcast is available on all platforms, as well as his website. His information is below in the link, so definitely check him out. Shout out to Walker for having me. What else, you guys? What's going on in Difference World? So I posted a while back my video of Panama. I'm getting a lot of good reviews with that. Thank you guys so much. I got another travel video coming up with Colombia, so that's to be expected. I'm going to close out this month, Black History Month, with 2 more videos I got for you guys. My 4th story time for the controversial paradigm shift. We're going to be talking about hypothetical, and with that paradigm, that's where, like I said, I tie it all into talking about coming together as far as unity and compassion. So for those who look at the book and it's madness, think that's all it's about is pissing off white people. No, it's not. This is the gist of the book. This is where I tie it all into hypothetical paradigm shift. What if this is the generation that plants the seed for the next to start systemic change and end systemic racism? So that video is coming up, as well as I have a special video I want to end up with Black History Month for you guys. So that's going to be on the lookout as well. What else we got coming up? March is coming up for next month. International Women's Day is in March, and so of course I'll be doing a video dedicated to all my ladies out there in the world who's doing big things and good things. That video will be dedicated to you guys. Let me just say also, again, with this podcast, when he posted it the day that my mom died, December 26, 2021, and so I didn't know that this podcast was already out, and so I want to dedicate this one also to my mother, Rachel Raynette Schooner. May she rest in peace. It debuted the day that she passed, and so this is in honor of her as well. And again, for anybody out there that's going through any type of mental anguish out there, feeling depressed or suicidal, Just know that it's okay to not be okay, but just don't sit there and not be okay. Go get help. Go talk with somebody, be a professional, family, friend, picking up a hobby, something, just don't sit there and not be okay. These videos that I'm doing, they help me. They're very cathartic. It helps me, to stay busy because idle minds wander. And when I don't have nothing to do, I am one of those people that'll just sit back and dwell on the past and just fall into a depression. So for me, this is one of my steps I'm taking to grieve healthily, if you will. Like I said, my previous videos, I talked about healthy grieving, and so this is part of the process for me. So again, for anybody out there that's going through it, please know that you're not alone and that it's okay to not be okay, but just don't sit there and not be okay. Go get help. Check out your local resources. Look up online. Call the, if you're feeling, again, for those who are feeling suicidal or know somebody that's feeling suicidal, please, have them give them this number, if you will, 1-800-273-8255. That is the suicide prevention hotline number. Or you can go online and check out your resources there. What else you guys want to close this out on a positive note? Although, again, like I said, the third eye, we talk about and push for issues that are, swept under the rug, and so we try to bring social awareness to that, and especially advocating for mental health awareness. So again, with that being said, for those out there who feel they are destined for greatness and meant for it, you have to manifest, plan, and prepare for it, and then it will surely come to you guys. With that being said, Different World, come and learn. Peace.
What if?
What if in 1619 Africans started dealing in slave trading?
The tables were turned around.
What if they kidnapped millions of Englishmen, women, and children from their homeland and brought them to America on a slave ship?
What if a controversial paradigm shift is a book written to inform and encourage consistent, thought-provoking conversations about injustice and systematic racism in America through graphic but provocative illustration? What if provides a different perspective by detailing controversial deaths and events as 4 categorized paradigm shifts: historical, political, precedent, and hypothetical? What if? A controversial paradigm shift by author Difernt. Go to differenceworld.net.